Gervonta Davis makes a crazy announcement saying that he's going to call out somebody after his fight with Lamont Roach, and it's going to be interesting. That's obviously going to be in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, but let's see who he calls out. I'm very fascinated by that because Tank was talking about the fact that he was going to call somebody out and how he's never done it before, and I was like, yeah, you really haven't called anybody out. So it was surprising to hear that. I'm curious who it's going to be, if we're going to be overwhelmed or hopefully not underwhelmed with who he ends up calling out. Like if it's Lomachenko, it's like, dude, just with the political stuff that Lomachenko's dealing with, everything that's going on with Ukraine, it's like, let's not touch that. I don't know if Tank is even thinking that. Maybe he's just saying, you know, Loma's scared of me, he wants to retire without dealing with me, blah, blah, blah. I just don't like that anymore. You know, if the opportunity presents itself and Loma reaches out to him, I think that's fine. Or if they try to pursue it one more time, that's fine. But, like, you don't have to, like, call him out on national TV because I think we all know, like, what's going on with Loma, where he's at in his career. He doesn't really want to fight. So even then, it's already, like, you know, people are going to write off that victory even if it did happen. So why not go in the direction of, you know, either a Teofimo Lopez, I'd be happy with that call out from Tank, or if Tank calls out Shakur, if Tank calls out Devin, or if he calls out Ryan Garcia. Those are honestly the names that, you know, I'd be happy with Tank if he were to call those guys out after the fight like he's saying he will. But if it's like an Isak Cruz, I don't really care. I don't know who else it could be, honestly, because it could be Rayo Valenzuela. That'd be a good one. But I think still I wouldn't be that happy, but it's a good fight because it's a legit 140 champion. I don't know if he plans to fight at 35 for the remainder of this 3-fight deal, because he talked about retirement, but does that mean that we're not going to get the fights at 35? Or are we going to see him move to 40 real quick because he only has a few fights left? There's a lot of unknown. There's a lot of unanswered questions from Gervonta Davis, and you guys know I don't think he's actually going to retire. Maybe that's just me being optimistic about it and me not wanting to accept the fact that he said that, you know, but he did say that. I just don't know if I believe it. I just feel like I feel like it's walking, the way I compare this situation for Tank, you know, walking away from the sport of boxing is like you walk up to the Thanksgiving table, you see turkey, you see that cream corn, you see that stuffing, you see all the cornbread, whatever, your favorite stuff, that mac and cheese, and then you walk away from it. You know, you have a little bite of it and then you walk away. It's like there's so much left on the table that it's like, why would you walk away from all these big fights? You're going to have the most or the greatest, this could have been this career, like it could have been this, it could have been that. You don't want to have that when you're thinking about, you know, your career 20, 30 years from now. And I understand, you know, he's talked about, I just want to make my money and move out the way. I just want to, you know, hang out with my kids. And I understand that, you know, your kids are so important. And I'm not, you know, here to make a decision for him, but it also comes with the territory of being a great, you know, like guys like Manny Pacquiao, guys like Canelo, guys like Floyd Mayweather, at least to talk about this kind of more recent generation, they all have kids. You know, they've all had kids. All the greats have had kids. So it's difficult to hear that because it's just like, that's the game. That's what you sign up for. And if you were to retire, you know, I understand that would probably be a smart, you know, physical health decision, but ultimately for a legacy, I don't think he could say, you know, that he's been one of those fighters that's going to leave a crazy legacy, you know. And I understand he actually talked about how, you know, I don't care about being considered one of the greats or if people call me great, because ultimately, you know, to come from where I came from and to accomplish what I have and to have as much money as I do, that's already, you know, solidifying me as a legend. I don't need to prove anything. And that's true, but ultimately there's so much more that you can accomplish. So that's why it's a little bit difficult for people like me to accept the fact that, you know, he's talking about retirement, because there are so many big fights. There are so many big fights that he hasn't, you know, taken yet. How does he know how good he is? He himself, you know, when he's sleeping at night, is going to have to think about these thoughts and say, could I be in Shakur? What would that fight have looked like? What would the fight have looked like against Devin? What if I did fight Ryan Garcia without a rehydration clause? You know, Tank's, if he retires without taking those fights, it's definitely gonna, you know, eat him up at night. You know, it would eat up any competitor or anybody with a competitive mindset. What would these fights have looked like? I could have stopped all of these guys and made much more money. But he's like, nah, I don't really need it. And it's interesting, but you know, and I respect it, but it just doesn't sound realistic. In all the years that I've been watching boxing, no one has really done that. You know, people are going to compare it to Andre Ward, but the way that Tank dismantles every single one of his opponents, how they line him up and he just knocks all of them down, and they're just begging him to fight these big and competitive names like Shakur, guys like Teofimo Lopez, you know, that's saying something. And I feel like that should propel Tank to fight bigger fights and not to retire just yet. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next Nabs boxing video. Peace. That's going to do it for another Nabs Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.